Hello, I'm Carmen.
And I'm Joe, and we are the
Sexy
Sexy
Happy
Happy Couple. And this is Sexy Healthy Cooking.
As many of you know, we're vegan, which means we only eat products that come from plants. We don't eat anything from animals. So no meat, no dairy, no cheese, no eggs. And we do this primarily for health reasons.
Yep, and we have this show, and Carmen is a very talented chef, and she's going to make us some food today. And you know, one of the great things about our program is we like to have a special guest from the adult entertainment industry. And boy, do we have somebody you're going to know here today. The one and only Nina Hartley. Wow.
Hey, hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Great
you for
to
having
see
me.
you.
I love cooking. I'm a lifelong cook, and I'm not as familiar with vegan food as I should be, and I'm really looking forward today to learning about how we're making. What are we making?
We are making today Kung Pao Cod.
I love Kung Pao.
So we tried to pick something that is would be found where our guest stars grew up, and Nina grew up in San Francisco, and so we are doing that kind of Asian fusion seafood thing. And this is actually a recipe that is not a vegan recipe on its own, and it's a recipe that I have created into a vegan recipe.
I'm so excited because I grew up in a Buddhist temple, and honestly, I could probably take this recipe back to the kitchen there, and they would just have to explode it to feed 60 people, but it looks like I'm so taking this recipe home with me.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so the first thing that we have to do, of course, is make the cod. So it is a tofu-based fish fillet, sort of like the frozen fish fillets that you would see in the grocery store. So it isn't exactly got the same texture as cod, but we enjoy it a great deal.
Yes, we do. And you know, I should add, in addition to making the food, we made a scene with our special guest, so if you stick around, you'll see that too, right?
Yes.
And I'm not the expert cook, but I am pretty good with some ingredients, and the one that I'm good with is wine. So I'm going to grab some of that,
I like
and
that.
you get started, all right? Yeah. Okay, I've got something.
Excellent.
Oh, thank you.
So much.
Do you like
Here's
Chardonnay?
to healthy cooking.
Healthy
Right.
cooking, indeed.
And Nina learning a new trick today, which I'm
Right.
always happy to do.
Cheers, baby.
Cheers. Yeah, great to have
Oh,
you
nice.
with us.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
Yeah.
My one glass.
It's an unoaked Chardonnay. We
Yeah.
have a tendency
Too
to
oaky, too much
Yeah,
tannin.
exactly. Okay, so again, today we are going to make the Kung Pao Cod, and the first thing we need to do is make the fish fillets. So the fish fillets are primarily tofu based. We have, first of all, extra firm tofu. So I've got two varieties of this extra firm tofu. This one was packed in water. You have to press it to get the liquid out because you want the tofu to be as dry as possible. And so I wrapped that in paper towels and put it on one cutting board with another cutting board on top.
And when I came in, I leaned out with my elbows. I didn't know what was going on.
And so that's right, and that's a good extra pressure. You can always have extra pressure. Actually, I have a tofu press at home, and it's this
As you
metal thing that weighs. I mean, it's about it's
A lot of
it's-
mass, yes.
Yeah, and it's super heavy. But it takes several hours really to press out the liquid. So if I don't have to use that, I usually try to get tofu like this, which is vacuum packed. And so there's very little liquid in it, and it doesn't require any pressing.
And it's extra firm.
And it's extra
Which is
firm.
how I
Oh,
often like to be.
I
Yes.
got a little double
But
entendre. on
You'll never
top of
forget it.
everything else, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, now so as I open this, you'll see there is just a little bit of liquid, but not a lot. So
Oh, hardly any.
yeah, hardly any. So in addition to the tofu, let me get this. Joe,
You need some help with
can
that?
you do that
All
while I
right.
explain the rest of the ingredients? Perfect.
Right.
So in addition to tofu, the extra firm tofu, we have this other form of tofu called silken tofu. And this kind of tofu is in a box, and it's not typically refrigerated.
Oh, that's got to smell all the time.
yeah,
It's
and,
like slush.
and it's very, very delicate, and is used to make creams and sauces and things like
So
that.
that would, if I was going to make a smoothie, would I put that
Yes,
in my smoothie
that's right.
with avocado?
That's right. You put that in your smoothie. We also have some flour, onion powder, Himalayan sea salt, cornstarch, and this is wakame flakes. It's a seaweed, and some white pepper. The first thing we need to do is measure out the tofu. We need 20 ounces of extra firm tofu. So I am going to turn on my scale
here.
And that is, what, 16, 18 ounces, so I need another 8 ounces.
Math.
Yeah, I don't like to do math in front of a camera.
So this stage of the recipe is just making fish.
Making fish.
Okay.
Making fish. Okay, so one of the things that we need to do is give it some fishy flavor, right? And so that's what the seaweed is for. So I'm going to steep the seaweed in this water for several minutes, and that will give it the fishy flavor. So we'll just let that set there. That off the side.
I like smart women.
Well,
Okay.
the cookbook
Me
is
too.
smart. All right, and now we're going to take the tofu, the extra firm tofu, and crumble it into this bowl. And you can feel the texture. You can see there's a different texture between that, which is packed in water,
Oh, this
and
is
this is super sturdy.
So now, for people out there who are meat eaters, I know if you touch this, you'd go, "Oh, come on, this is never going to be edible. Anything? No way." Tofu is a great base. It tastes like what you put on it. So
right.
actually, it can be saucy, spicy, smoky. It can be anything you want it to be. It is flavorless and colorless for a reason, because now you can make it into whatever you want.
That's right.
I
You
always
do that
say,
really well.
if you want to try tofu, don't get the stuff at the airport.
No.
Because it's typically not really done
What you
well.
get in the airport is more like this,
Yeah.
and it's flavorless and it's mushy, and you put it in your mouth because it's protein. That's the only
But
reason.
there are many restaurants that you can get good tofu, so.
So you want this as crumbled as
That's
possible?
no, that's good.
You want pieces?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wash hands.
Yep. Now the next thing we're going to do is with this.
Here's what I thought. I thought you were going to cut the tofu and soak it in something, make it taste like fish. We're actually making fish.
We are making
which is
fish.
news to me.
Right?
Okay.
Okay, which sometimes they do that. Sometimes they will, there's some recipes that call for you just to cut it into fish-like shapes and marinate it.
for a gazillion years, yeah.
But this particular chef
this is gonna taste better.
is wonderful.
It's going to taste much better.
So the next thing I'm going to do is take the silken tofu and put it in the food processor with some other ingredients. The important thing with the silken tofu is that you have to let it drain as well and get as much moisture out as possible. So,
But it won't stand up to squishing.
no, it won't stand up to squishing. So I put this on a paper towel and on a plate, and then I put paper towels over the top of it, and I actually used a bag of rice as a weight to get as much water out as possible.
Oh, wow, look.
And so you can see, the texture of
yeah.
that is
Oh.
very different. Okay, so we're just gonna put all of that.
It feels completely, it's smoother, it's
Like
softer.
Play-Doh.
It's like hard butter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like that. Yeah, so we're just gonna put that in there.
So we had 3 kinds of tofu.
3 kinds of tofu.
All different
All
in
very- yes.
texture.
That's right.
All right, I'll get this out of the
Super,
way. That's
thank
a
you.
talent I have.
Right? He's good with dishes.
Yeah.
You know what? Every cook needs a dishwasher.
That's right. Okay, so to this silken tofu, I am going to add 4 tablespoons of not cornstarch, but flour. That would be a disaster.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
2 completely different things chemically.
Completely different things. And 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil.
I love these little measuring things
Oh, they're great.
for liquid. Yeah. Oh, the salt.
The salt is next.
Himalayan.
Himalayan salt.
Not
I
just any
just
salt.
like the taste and the
Yeah.
texture of Himalayan salt.
I also really like the Malden flake sea salt. I
Oh.
have a salt pig, which is
Uh-huh.
just
Yeah, me too.
And so when you say a pinch of salt, it's like, oh, It's
Yeah.
not just pinch of the salt.
Right.
It's a pinch of grainy, flaky
Yeah.
salt you can crumble. It's delicious.
That's
So
great.
when you put salt on top, they don't melt right away. So when you taste
Oh,
the salt, so you can use less in the
Interesting.
thing and less on top. So if you eat a low sodium diet, the
Nice.
sea flake salt, the flake sea salt is really where it's at.
super. So that was 2 teaspoons of salt.
Yes.
And I am going to use 1 teaspoon of onion powder because we don't use garlic powder. So I
Got it.
substitute onion
Yeah,
powder for
garlic
powder.
with me, it doesn't sit.
Again, you and my
I love the
husband.
taste of it, but
No,
just,
he
yeah,
doesn't even like that. So
it's too bad.
And then we need a half of a teaspoon of white pepper.
nice.
Okay.
That's it. Wow.
And then we need 2
The
teaspoons.
seaweed.
Wow.
Seaweed
Okay,
water.
get close with that. Look at what happened.
I know.
It was dark, almost black flakes of crunchy stuff in water. May I touch it?
Yeah, it's hot, so be careful.
And now it's squishy, springy. You can see that it's
Kind of like
seaweed.
seaweed out of the sea.
Yeah, and you could absolutely eat that.
Yeah.
Oh, tasting delicious. Tastes like miso soup.
Yeah, that's. So I'm gonna strain this out here. And I don't really want pieces of seaweed.
Oh,
in
you're
there.
getting the liquid.
Just the liquid,
The
right?
seaweed goes elsewhere later.
The seaweed, well, you know, you can save it for miso soup.
Oh, so did
Or compost
we
it.
were just doing this. We were just doing this for the
Just
liquid.
for the liquid, exactly.
So what would happen if you put some seaweed in there as
I'm
well?
not
Would it,
entirely sure.
would it be
But you-
more fishy
there's
flavor?
a crab
Yeah.
cake recipe that she makes that you do actually put to give it the texture.
That's
But I
right.
think this fish, it's
Yeah, it's just for the taste.
That's fascinating. I would have thought you would have been. I would have for sure.
Whoops. Okay. Need to do that
Look
anyway.
out.
All right, so I'm gonna process this into a smooth paste.
I like a little wine. I'm gonna get wine.
And every once in a while, you want to scrape down the sides with a rubber spatula to make sure that all of the pieces get ground up here.
Oh, that's good. All that. That'd be good. That'd be good spread on bread.
Yeah, it would.
That'd be good taste on
would.
that is
toast.
nice.
That's
Yeah. So now I'm just going to mix the various tofu products all together.
All right.
Can you take out the blade or?
So Nina, food.
Yes.
What are your favorite foods? I mean, we don't necessarily make people be vegan on our show. We know that.
Well, I
lots-
like good food. So if it's good food, I will absolutely. I'm not against.
It's kind of like good sex.
Well, yeah, some people, I don't do vegan. I have the principles like, but you haven't even tried it.
Yes.
So for me, vegan food, like any food, there are good and bad versions of all food.
Yes.
There's there's tasty, healthy versions of traditional carnivore diets, like game and things that were raised in the outside. And then there's like fast food, right? So there
Yeah.
is vegan food that's like really seriously, you didn't even try. And then there's something like this. I'm German background, so I like anything schnitzel. I like schnitzel, I like noodles. But I also don't forget, I grew up in a Zen temple, so anything Japanesey is fine with me. I like all, and anything Asian, totally fine with Asian food.
Oh.
And there's very few foods I don't, very few cuisines I don't like. If it's super spicy, it's like vindaloo curry.
Sure.
I'm a white
Not
girl.
much.
Yeah.
No, so no ghost peppers, no serrano peppers, but I like sriracha.
Mhm.
You know,
I love sriracha.
Yeah, sriracha.
Now, when you're working, how do you schedule food? Because the set,
Well, I've learned to bring my own food
Yeah.
because depending on. So back in the day, we were if you did long enough, you got pizza or El Pollo Loco or other chain restaurants. And I just started in the last few years and just stopped being movies and started being scenes.
Yeah.
Then I bring my own lunch.
Okay.
So I could probably make the cottage cheese salad I make with the right kind of tofu would probably be pretty tasty. I recently went low carb because of my blood sugar. My A1C was creeping up because pushing 60, and so I just stopped eating a lot of. I just started restricting carbs. And I can't eliminate carbs because a woman with no carbs is a mean bitch. And you just can't.
Yes,
you
that's
just
right.
you
All of
can't.
that.
I don't. So no Atkins for me, but I do have a reduced carb. And so instead of doing more breads and pastas, I keep it to good dark chocolate and fruit.
Okay.
And you have to and
Yeah.
avocado. So and luckily I love avocado, so I'm just super. Might I take a taste of that?
Yeah, please.
Okay,
The
so
nice about
this,
vegan food, of course, it doesn't need cooking because it's plant-based, so plants are safe to eat even when they're raw.
Nor does it need refrigeration.
That would be good as a sandwich. Oh my gosh, this is already shaping out to be really delicious.
Good.
this is the three
This is the-
kinds of tofu with that sea spicing
Yeah.
and okay. Good.
So what are you doing here?
So I am just making sure that we don't have any super big chunks of the firm tofu, and so I'm just kind of mushing it up with my hands, and then the next step will be to actually make these into fish fillets.
Fantastic. So this is something you can do with a kid too, because kids
Absolutely.
love matching with their.
Absolutely. Okay.
All
So
right.
that's the
So
sizes.
that'll be about what the fish fillets look like. But they also need to be, once I shape them into the fillets, I need to dredge them in some flour. So I'm going to wash my hands and get a plate for the flour.
Cool.
Okay. So the typical day on a set, what that could be a long time, right?
Well, back in the day when we did features, it was a 12-hour day, and so they would provide breakfast and lunch and a catered on-set lunch. So it'd be some kind of hot meal. Okay. And then if we stayed late, it'd be pizza, which I never liked. I don't like pepperoni. But the crew are big guys, and they're heavy. Back in the day, they had to lift heavy things, so
Sure.
they needed feeding. Now, normally I don't do features hardly ever anymore. So I come in and do a scene.
Sure.
So you're never there. You're rarely there more than 4 hours. Now you have to bring your own food.
Yeah.
They provide water. If you're lucky, they provide baby wipes and a shower and a towel. But I've learned to bring all my food, bring a towel, bring everything that I need to be a self-contained person on the set, because you don't know what they're going to bring. And now I'm just more health conscious, and I just don't want what they there.
No,
Yeah,
no,
sure.
that's good.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Okay, so what's next is we make fish patties. We need to dredge them in some flour, so I'm just going to pour
So
out
unseasoned, just straight
just
flour.
straight white, unbleached
Flour.
flour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old
Flour.
Just-
Wow.
Yeah.
You dredge them.
See,
You
whenever
dredge them.
whenever I dredge things, I always put salt and pepper in the
Yeah,
flour
you can probably do that.
if you want it. Okay, so
Yeah.
now
So now I
Some.
get like a little bit bigger than a
nice.
golf ball, maybe. Well,
I did wash my hands,
Yep.
so yeah.
Yeah.
So about a little more than that maybe.
I'll get in on it too.
Yeah, you bet.
We're getting, this is risky, but
This is risky, and so then I just shape them.
Fish
Kind of like your
Patty,
frozen fish fillet,
square thing.
and they're a little delicate.
Where are we gonna put them when we're
and
done?
then we are going to put them
on that
on
food
this
pad.
cookie sheet, lined with, and I've got a silicone mat.
Those are great.
Yeah, so if you don't have a silicone mat, then you'd want to use
I
some
moved
parchment paper.
These.
The silicone mats are absolutely worth
Absolutely.
the price. Yeah, the parchment paper things. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love my silicone
That-
mat.
That's
Gonna
good.
get it?
That's good. Now you want to put it.
Dredging. I've never dredged before. All right.
Okay, we're gonna call that a fillet.
That's a good looking
Yeah,
fillet.
well, yeah.
No,
This
really.
is good. I'm excited. I want to get a little mini Cuisinart actually. That's
That's
so
a
convenient.
really wonderful tool for small jobs. And Joe, since you've got clean hands, I will let you put this in the oven
Which is set at.
375, and we'll bake them for about 30 minutes.
Okay, and what will we do while they're baking?
Clean dishes.
Gee, or maybe we should watch our scene that we did
I
yesterday. What do you
Watch the
think?
scene.
think that would be a lot of fun. Yes,
All
I
right.
do. Catch you on the other side. Thank you so very much for coming over today.
Oh, well, thanks
Oh,
for
thank
having
you.
us.
Wow, this is
I love
exciting.
selling lingerie because lingerie helps keep the spice in the marriage. You know that's
It
true.
does.
So Joe, have a seat.
All right.
And Carmen, can set your purse down.
Thank you.
And we're going to have her model outfit number 1. Give him some wine while he's waiting.
That's a great idea.
You stay right there.
Okay. Nice.
This is going to be fun.
I think so, baby.
Oh, that is so wonderful. So Joe, you sit here, think happy thoughts,
And I will have Carmen modeling for you in just a moment.
Thank you.
Carmen,
Sure.
shall we?
We shall.
He is so cute.
He is adorable. This is good.
Okay, you guys might like it?
You might like this.
Okay.
I love this little thing.
I know it's darling. Well, they actually do look a little bit like fish fillets. I don't know how they did that.
And you know, this fish is hot, but that scene was hotter.
Wonk, wonk.
And I feel like the luckiest guy around with these
Well, you
two
are.
beautiful
You're married to her, so you're the luckiest
Wow.
guy around. Yeah.
We are not worthy. I mean, I know that's
I know.
cliche, but with somebody.
You know
A
what?
legend like you is such a
Nah, just because I didn't retire.
All right.
Wonk, wonk.
Hope you liked it.
I had no fun at all. No, I hate women and men alive.
Right.
It's all alive.
So
30 years of my life been a lot. 35 years of my life been a lie. Right.
Right. Okay, so now we are on to the Kung Pao part of our Kung Pao Cod recipe. And I have a couple of changes that I made up. And actually, this is a recipe that I got out of a
Oh,
actual newspaper.
I
What's
still
that?
order
Right?
a print newspaper.
Exactly.
I read the paper every day.
And it calls for real cod, but of course we've made the tofu cod. And I've made a couple of changes to the recipe. First, the recipe calls for green peppers. I despise green peppers.
Yeah.
So I'm opting for broccoli.
I like the way you think.
And secondly, the recipe calls for peanuts. And the grocery store I went to disappointingly had no raw, unsalted peanuts.
That's crazy.
So we're going with cashews.
Okay,
That's
so
okay.
do you toast them first or leave them raw?
Raw.
Do you okay.
Yeah, we'll do them raw. But Nina, if you could help me by chopping the rest of the green onions, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
right.
And I am going to grate some ginger here.
Boy, both of you, be careful. This is sharp
Yeah, I
stuff.
have-
I'm just gonna
Like,
You eat.
Linger.
So you're the eater. You're the eater and the dishwasher.
dishwasher. I'll be safety guy.
safety guy. Yeah, because
Whatever
I
that
have
would be,
ground off my knuckles on these.
I've
graters.
never done that. Whatever do you mean?
Right.
Oh boy.
What? Wait, sharp objects near a nail? Yeah, you're good. It's a different thing.
Go too far.
Whoa, let's not waste wine.
No. That would be the real
Or
tragedy.
the real tragedy, right? You dropped the wine, Nina.
So do you get to do much cooking?
I cook every night. My husband does
Oh,
not
you do?
cook. I cook 6 or 7 days a week.
Wow.
So you
But
have time.
because of the fabulous realities of the food saver vacuum system,
Oh,
just
they're
that I
back.
can cook once and eat 7 times.
Yes.
'Cause I travel a lot on business, and so
Sure.
I will, before I go out for the week, I will take out one each of everything, and then thaw them. So my husband, all he has to do, he knows now, put in toaster oven. He knows how to reheat food.
And you're a good chopper.
Oh,
She is.
I've been food
This is-
prepping. I've been food prepping since I was 10.
Yeah, so we do a lot of that. I do big cooking on the weekends.
Yeah, and you freeze.
And then freeze it up and we send it, and TSA, they get a little picky about food.
What?
Yes, however, if it's frozen,
Yeah.
It's
then
fine.
it's good, because apparently dynamite or whatever these people use on planes, these
Can't
explosives
freeze?
can't freeze.
Oh,
So
get
as
out
long
of
as it's
town.
frozen, you're all good.
And it's gonna stay frozen in the
Yeah, that's right. That is right.
Okay, here we go.
Perfect, that looks lovely.
I'm
Okay.
gonna wash the onion off of my hand.
All right, you do that, and while you do that, I am going to heat up some oil here. I've just got a little bit of oil in this pan to stir fry the vegetables. So while that's heating up,
Here you
let me
go.
tell you what the other ingredients in this Kung Pao Cod are. Okay, so we talked about the broccoli and the cashews. We also have green onions that you just chopped up quite nicely. A little bit of red pepper flake.
Oh, ooh, yes.
Yeah, to give a little bit of spice. Not a
Yeah.
lot, just a
Good
little.
enough, yeah.
Brown sugar for a tiny bit of sweetness.
Yeah.
Cornstarch, of course, for the thickening.
glazing, yeah,
right.
and the lovely.
Yeah, the glazing.
The gooey.
Well, I don't know if you call it gooey.
Well,
You
all
can
right.
call it gooey.
He
We
can
can
call
do
it-
it.
What do I know?
He is not.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the cleaner upper guy.
Oh.
Right? We got some soy sauce, some rice wine vinegar.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. some water, and sliced
a
mushrooms.
heck of a bunch of
A
mushrooms.
heck of a bunch of mushrooms. And then
nice,
ginger.
fat ginger.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So I think that oil is probably hot enough, and I am going to add the mushrooms. Now I'm going to add the broccoli.
Now we're make doing here because we don't have a wok.
Yes.
But a wok is wider and open, and so things, the steam evaporates more evenly, and things will not steam. So this is going to be, you got to keep the heat up quite high and stir it a lot, so it does not become steamed vegetables and becomes actually stir-fried vegetables.
Exactly. And now I'm going to add about half of the green onions that we cut up. Okay.
And stir like heck.
And stir it like heck, that's right. We're cooking this on high.
And the higher the heat, the less you can walk away.
So Nina, I've got a question for
Yes.
you. So, these critics of porn
Mm-hmm.
will often comment about how women are being exploited.
Mhm.
Women are being exploited. So this is kind of a two-part question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing since you've been in the industry for a couple of years now.
Couple of years, yeah.
Couple of years. You don't, number one, don't feel exploited. And number two, what about the men? I mean, they get paid half what you get paid.
You hit the nail on the head.
And yet, no one ever talks about them being exploited.
Right, well, so going back to labor history, so the idea of capitalism is the employer always exploits the worker. Profit is how much more you can charge the consumer than you paid your worker, right? So
Yeah.
it's always,
Fair enough.
so it's the way that our system is set up, it is exploitative to the worker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's why in real life, workers hopefully have unions,
Right.
and things they can collectively bargain. So, but because of our culture and the Puritanism and all the alls, sex is valued very highly because as women, we're not allowed to give it away for free.
Right.
And so we have to be married or we can be whores. We can't just be,
I'm a whore.
right, we can't just be freely giving it on the marketplace because that devalues us. So that creates a value on a female person who will say, I'll show you my body, I will have sex so you can watch, because people don't get to see sex or watch sex, because we don't get to have it. So they're supposed to get all that they can. We're
Right.
supposed to resist and,
Yep.
and hold back all that we can. So we have anger and resentment, all the things. So you're gonna go buy porn, right? Because these bees won't put out.
Right.
So, so I never felt exploited worse than any other worker.
Sure.
So no, I don't have a union, but I do get paid quite well for my time because in our culture, sex, female bodies and female sexuality is valued oddly.
Yeah.
Oddly. So if I'm not a sex professional, I don't get to say what I do with my body or my sexuality for my own ends because I'm afraid of being called a whore, I'm afraid of what you're going to think of me, and so women constrain themselves always. So the women, like myself, who say, I don't care, I'm going to step out into myself, gets a lot of words from people. So overall, I don't feel more exploited than another worker. Now,
Sure.
that being said, I came in 25 years old, already a feminist, already educated, so I knew what my rights were. I already had an idea of myself. If I'd been 18 when I first wanted to make movies, I would have been taken advantage of more, I'm sure. Because 18-year-old women, we want to please people, we don't want to make upset,
Right.
so we're going to do all these things. So when I talk to younger women, I always tell them what their value is. No is a complete sentence, which took me a long time to learn. And things like, I don't do that. No, thank you, I'm booked. Oh, sorry, no. Hey, when you have $10,000, call me back.
Sure.
So some women, they have a price point where it becomes, okay, that, I will do for that.
Sure.
Others, you couldn't pay me enough to do certain things. So what this business does, if a woman has enough of her own sense of agency, it's a very nice way to be a self-employed person. Because I am the unit, I'm the business, I'm the industry, I'm the factory, I'm it. So wherever I go, there's my work. So
Right.
how do I think about myself makes a big difference.
It's
Now,
interesting that you say that because we worked with India Summer.
I love her.
She's great.
Yeah.
And she had a similar story of the first scene that she had, and she was a little bit older
Yeah,
too
she started.
when she started. And she said that her first scene was a gonzo scene where they wanted her to wear a strap on, and she was just like, You know
With
what?
two 18-year-old girls.
And she's just like, no, I'm not doing it. And
So
that
you
was
get
like,
hurt.
and she said that was my moment to be able to say, I own what I do. And she said, had I not done that then, it would have been a problem. So that's,
Exactly.
yeah.
So the people who say, "Oh, I've been taken advantage of," it's like, in this business, no one can make you do anything. The worst they can do is be shitty to you, and you go home without a paycheck. That's
Sure.
the worst.
Sure.
They cannot stop you from working in this business again. They're not going to hold you there. Oh my
Right.
God! The police would love to hear from a person stuck on a set calling from a
Right.
closet, going, "Come get me!" Oh, really? Where? It's a legal business.
Right.
No, they cannot hurt you. They can fingerprint you, they can be mean to you, but they
Sure.
can't make you do anything. And I set my price.
Right.
So now, so I do X for Y amount of money,
Mm-hmm.
and if someone wants to do it for less, Lord bless her.
God bless her.
I'm, yeah, if she wants to do it for more, go girl.
Yeah.
But the men,
Mm-hmm.
the men, except for a few guys like Ryan Driller, Evan Stone, Shawn Michaels, is at the Rocco Siffredi, the big name stars. The guys get maybe half to 2/3 of the
Right.
wage for women. The men really are just a prop.
Right.
So you have the whole screen. This is a screen.
Right.
So here's girl, and
Right.
there's and over him is from his navel to his knees, and
Right.
the part that we're interested in
Right.
is
And-
all girl,
and then we're
and
talking-
over here.
Right. And no
And
talking
then-
and
they're
never a
little-
face.
they're talking. Now I
Yeah.
prefer a scene with a guy who will kiss me back and we'll have a conversation. I do like age-appropriate partners, and I love J. Crew because he's an adult person. He loves women.
Mhm.
He works well, and he'll talk to you. He'll kiss you. He'll interact with like you do. He'll interact with you during the
Yeah.
scene. Because what I don't like about the younger guys working with them is because they're looking. You're just trying to say hard. So you keep trying to look them in the eye, and they're physically there, but they're mentally
somewhere
wherever they
else.
have to be
Sure.
Huh.
to keep this going. And so that's just boring. It's
Yeah.
just like, okay, if I was a completely, cum drunk, fuck bunny, I don't, hard dick, I don't care. But I want some human
That's
contact
right. Well,
Right.
because that's what I prefer.
Okay, so we stir fried the broccoli and the mushrooms.
Okay?
I'm a thinker. So in the sauce, we've got the red pepper flakes here, some brown sugar for sweetness, cornstarch for thickener, soy sauce,
Mirin,
rice wine
vinegar, that's the one
That's right.
vinegar.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just gonna mix all this stuff.
Oh,
up
okay.
in
And then,
here.
I grew up watching my grandmother cook, and then I grew up in the Zen Center watching other people cook, and my dad was a major fabulous cook.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, my dad was a good cook.
All right. And the rice wine vinegar. And we're going to use 2 tablespoons of the brown sugar.
One.
And
2.
It's boring. Try not to do any dialogue, just finish your ingredients.
Oh, good
The
extra ginger, yay.
Ginger.
Yay.
Yeah, you're gonna love
yay.
that.
Yeah, you do, wow. Oh heck, you know what, ginger's so good for you.
all in it. Spice. So I'm going to whisk all of this together. And I have turned the heat back on.
So that was the cornstarch, the chili flakes, the sugar,
Sugar,
the soy sauce, the vinegar, and the water. Okay.
Yep. And then I'm going to pour this in, and it should thicken up.
Pretty quickly. Cornstarch is great that way.
Oh, yeah.
My gosh.
It's like a miracle thing. So it's on high. We're going to stir this up. So we're just going to wait for this to boil. Got it on high so that it will thicken up. And then we will be ready for plating.
Okay.
Ah, lunch?
Lunch. I know. Here we come.
You mentioned the internet. It has changed the business dramatically.
Changed
Where
all
are
over.
you on that now?
Well, I have a not safe for work site,
Uh-huh.
Nina.com, and I'm building a safe for work site, NinaLive.com, where I will be coaching, consulting, and counseling. So,
Oh,
taking
nice.
everything I've learned through my 35 years in this business and with my nursing background, and then distilling it in a way with everyone's clothes on.
Yeah.
I call the site Nina with her clothes on.
Ah, Nina with her
That's
clothes
great,
on.
yeah.
All right.
Because there are a lot of people who can use what it is I know, but I can't send them to places with naked boobies. It's a bad idea. You can also
Yeah.
not everyone, people know, most people know me from porn, but some people know me only from reading things I've written in anthologies.
sure,
So they've
sure.
never seen a movie, but they know who I
Sure.
am because they saw me in women's studies class
Oh,
in college. Because
the New York Times writes a
Yeah.
story about Stormy Daniels, and they call you up. Give us the, you're.
So the what's really nice about it, back when I started, I was one of the few college educated women in porn. When there's myself, there was Jane Hamilton,
Oh, yeah.
and eventually Jane Hamilton. So and now there are lots of women coming into porn after college, after the master's. Ella Darling has a master's. Lissy Sweet has a master's. So a lot of women who, instead of starting when they're 18 thinking, I'll get attention, boys, are now, they have the education, they have a straight job, they realize, you know what? I am an independent unit and I want to take this unit over here. And they're completely changing porn because they are starting with producing right away. So instead of so because of the internet, you have a fancy smartphone and a computer and a modem, anybody can be a pornographer. Not anyone can be a good one or a profitable, but anyone can make their vision.
Sure.
And what I love about porn is where we hold our sexual dreams, right? Porn is important because it's where our fantasies live. And now, any person who cares to can make their fantasies their living,
Yeah.
which is sort of fabulous for those kinds of people. Because lots of people who cannot or would not or would never do what we do, but they can still have fun with us.
So I'm going to add the last ingredient
Aha.
to our dish, the cashews. And then we will be ready
Get out, lunch?
to eat.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Hello.
Should we get them plates? So
We should get some plates. So if you give me a minute,
Yeah.
we'll get this cleaned up and we'll come back and have some
watch
food.
me.
So we have our completed array of
Almost.
Kung Pao Cod, almost. We have some green onions as a
Garnish.
garnish.
That's called
Yes,
garnishing.
garni.
That's right. So I plated them, I put some rice down, and then the fish fillet, and then the Kung Pao on top.
Boy, that looks good. But you know, before we eat, there's one thing we want to close with. We've had a great show with a
Indeed.
very, very
Best time. I
special
love
guest.
having fun with smart people.
Oh,
We
right
do
back to you.
Because I've come from a long line of college professors, so it's like, oh yeah, you
And
guys.
that's us.
I know.
And we're not nerds.
No.
The saying proves
No.
it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's right.
But we are people that write books, and of course Nina has this wonderful.
Fabulous book.
It's all words, no pictures. You can leave it around your home.
Right?
So,
Oh, and they'll sign it. That
Of
is
course.
is
That's
very
right.
nice.
And we'll treasure that for all our time.
and I think you'll be able to follow this advice.
Play naked.
we will.
Yeah.
I think we will.
Oh, thank you.
I really look forward to reading this book.
And we
This
have
is
our book.
our book, The Sexy Happy Couple, Monogamy with Benefits. Not our real names on there because we're still
Right?
forced to kind of lay low on that, but someday.
I love it when couples figure out their stuff and make it work for themselves. I just like, yay!
We loved your book. We hope you dig ours. We hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to be back again because we are just addicted to this. So until then, so long from the Sexy Happy Couple.
Cheers.